Hey everybody, Dave here, and today I'm going to be starting my City Skylines Let's Play. I've already done a review on it, and finally have some time for the actual Let's Play, which I'm actually really excited about. I have this map, Hong Kong, which I got, and it's a downloadable map off the workshop or whatever, and I saw it and I was like, dude, this looks really freaking sweet to like build a city on. I don't know the name of the guy who created it. You'll find it on the workshop, and at least I think they have the name of the creator on there. Anyways, he did a spectacular job. This is kind of what the map looks like. It's apparently supposed to be a pretty much exact replica of the Hong Kong area, which I've never been to, I've never seen, but I just really like the topography of the map, the layout, the mountains, the big river thing, you know, the channel coming through and everything, and all of that. Anyways, so getting started here, we've got our starting area. Now, I'm not exactly sure. I've done a few like Let's Plays, but they're mostly like RPG stuff. I mean, you can obviously check it out on my channel, but RPG stuff where it's kind of a clear and set goal, and I'm doing like quests and stuff that I haven't done before. It's a little bit different when it comes to a city builder. I mean, I could mindlessly just like track out roads and stuff for hours on end and post it all up, and you know, I'm sure there'd be a few dedicated people that might watch it, but for the most part, nobody would probably care. So I don't know. I might end up cutting stuff. I might end up cutting a little bit when I like fall asleep, as I'm like AFK farming, you know, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. If I can make it interesting enough that I like it, then I'll post it all. But I am rather picky when it comes to all that. So, all right, start off with, got to build a road out. And I haven't really figured out why they had me do that. But then I can start deleting stuff. And I do not like having a freaking 6-lane highway come into my city, because that's not the way I roll. That is not the way I roll at all. Now, we do have to branch off the main highway here, which is fine. I'm thinking I want like kind of an overall design for the city is in this area. I'd like to be like a large commercial center with housing spreading out eventually, and then maybe some industrial up. I don't know, somewhere. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I think some industrial back, like in. It seems like industrial would not be towards the coast. It'd be, you know, out towards the or in the inland area. So we'll get some one-way roads going. Let's see here. I'll track right off of that and turn off this and this. And I always do everything through the freeform road, because that is actually how I honestly really like to do it. So we'll go from there. And we'll separate these stop areas, these stop signs out a little bit. So that way they're not too close together. If you put the stop signs too close, it seems like you get traffic bunched up, but nah, it is what it is. All right, so that's just a standard 2-lane road with the 1 lane's coming off of it. I think I'm gonna like, I don't know, it seems like, all right, so you'd come off the highway and you'd have like a, I don't know, like a main street that would come down and kind of wrap around through the commercial center that would be, you know, kind of close to the coast. Seems like that would be a good thing to have. So let's see here. Oh my goodness, I forever hate that sound. Alright, so let's see here. How close to the coast do I want it? I don't know. Will we have a frontage road between this highway? This is not exactly a very big road, so I guess we'll just put it right up against the coast. I don't think we'll have a frontage road, you know, in between or whatever. And that is too close right down there. So what we'll do is we'll back that up a little bit. And we'll do this. And then we'll go like that. There we go. I don't know. I kind of want it to be like semi-realistic in the way that real roads would be. Alright, so that's a good starting road. Starting commercial will be, let's see here, where do I want the commercial? It seems like the commercial would start off with like kind of up here by the main highway, because there'd be a lot of traffic. So maybe what I'll do is we'll put the industrial like off in this area, and then we'll have housing kind of build out in the interior here. Eventually the housing is going to get pushed out to the edge, and this will all be a nice commercial area. You know, like maybe a bridge extending across in the narrow points or whatever. So all of that being said, I've wasted a lot of time doing absolutely nothing so far, except for planning stuff out, but that's fine. That was a weird little red. Now, I know a lot of people, they're like super grid and they want everything locked tight. I don't know. I don't really care for that. Back in like SimCity 4, when everything was, all you could do was straight roads, like. Okay, that's not a grid. But if it was a grid, I would prefer everything like pretty tight. But since this is like, I can do my roundy roads and it's all semi-realistic, seems like that's not exactly the way I would want this to happen. So we'll go like this. A nice gentle curve up that way. And we'll leave it there just in case later on we expand out that way. And then this road, how would this tie in? So they'd probably pave this one first. Alright, so they put in this new road, and then how would people branch off of that? How indeed. Seems like there would be a nice little tie that would come off this way. Yeah, straight for the coast. And then there we go. That's feeling better. And it'll tie in a nice little intersection. There we go. That's looking pretty good. Alright, so all that being said, we got a nice little place for the industrial to start. Put some commercial area up there. So I'll use this. I like the I don't know, the large brush tool the best. I used to use the little paint bucket, but then I noticed that like you get all these little tiny things, and that kind of annoyed me. So I use that for cleaning stuff up, but for the most part I use this brush tool, and it, I don't know, it gives it like more organic feel to it. So we'll probably just come down about like that far with the commercial so far. And if we're going to have housing branching off, it seems like this road would kind of come up like this and then follow along the edge of the highway a little bit more with a few branching out little neighborhoods. And that would not go all the way through because you don't want a bunch of breaks in your commercial area. All right, so there we go. That's a nice little housing area. All right, so throw down some residential. We'll just paint this all up right like so. It's a good amount. Good amount to start off with. We'll get some industrial over here. Paint it on. And how far over do I want to come with the industrial? I'm going to come like this far. It's not going to be on the second road because that would be commercial, so only on this first road here would that industrial stretch that far. The rest of this here would be, oh, just got to erase that. You can right click to erase it, by the way, if you got your brush tool out. I'm sure you figured that out. This area here will definitely be commercial. And, well, I don't know. I've already got this road branching through, so maybe this road would actually connect. I haven't quite decided, but we need power. Now, where's a good wind? Good wind area. Could only get like, this is a pretty good wind area. I feel like I could get a couple. I want room for expansion later, so I feel like I could get, a few more windmills there before we run into any issues. Now water, let's see here. The water is flowing all this way. I always do this, like when I'm talking, I point to the screen. So it's flowing from left to right. So it's, it's flowing inland, I guess. So this is definitely not a river. If it was a river, it'd be flowing that way. It must be, some sort of inlet. But all that being said, we're going to put our water right there, right on the edge where we can. And we'll connect it up. And I know this is like, you don't need to. You can just grid this out and it doesn't even matter. I like to stay semi-close to the roads because it seems like IRL, they would definitely be putting utilities under the roads and or at least near the roads. Cheapest route to go. They do have like utility, where I'm looking for. They have like utilities easements or whatever set aside for water and sewerage and stuff. But for the most part, I feel like in a big city, they would follow the roads. And we need something for our sewage, so we'll put a drainage pipe right about here. Keep it far away from our... And there again, we will connect that out. And got to run a little power over there. So yeah, we'll put a road right in there, and this would definitely follow the road. There we go. And then we'll throw down a little road. Space is already occupied. What? Occupado? There we go. All right. And the power. There we go. All right, so we got power, we got a road. We've got power. There we go. Life is pretty good. We do need power from here, though. All right, so where did I run? Why can I not? Not enough money. Oh, no. So we're losing a lot of money. I just realized what our money status was. That's horrible. All right, that's cool. We got to take out a loan. We can't even take out a loan this early. Ew. Ew. I see. All right, well, I'll have to make a few little changes here. Nothing much, nothing much. So I'm gaining population. Hopefully we can dig ourselves out of this hole money-wise. I just turned the speed on fast, and so we'll see what happens here. I definitely was not paying attention to that. So yeah, our debt's going down a little bit. In fact, let's just raise taxes just a hair here to speed up. Oh, I can't even change taxes this early? Are you kidding me? I can't do anything. I spent too much money on roads. I'm a horrible person. I can't believe we don't have enough money to stretch it that far. It's redonkulous. Alright, well, we're getting close. We'll just have to save up a little bit of money. And this might be one of those points where I cut, because at this point I'm really just taxes. Alright, so sweet, I can get a loan now. I was gonna say I was gonna cut it, but you know what, I'll just take this loan out. No big deal. We got 38,000 to work with now. Run that over there, and that's another thing I don't like. I was going to point out, whenever you get an unlock, it changes your speed. I normally run on fast just because I'm impatient and I don't want to sit there and wait for all that stuff, but it definitely changes your speed setting whenever you have something new come up. All right, so still gaining 24 people a week, a weekly change. Little water here for my throat. And at this point, we're really just, there we go, waiting for some money, a little demand to come back up. What's the stuff we can build? Well, we can build a dump. That's kind of the next course. These guys are still complaining about no power, so I better build that second power plant back. Because no power is not good. Now, I'm wondering, should I put the dump? Where would the dump go? I feel like it'd be in a more remote area, so probably out this way. Even though this is going to be residential, I definitely feel like it'd be... Now, whenever you're taking off of a road, a lot of times people are like, oh, I want to go this direction. And you got to put that sharp corner right there. And then even if you like try to bend it, you know. So what I always do, and maybe you figure this out, but it's kind of a little tip. Even if you want to like quickly come around, you can just put it out a little bit. And then that gives you that smooth bend. And it's always nice to have. And then the smoother the bend you want, the longer you make that first little deal. All right, so put the dump right about here, and I can jump off of here with power. Now that I'm thinking about that, I wonder if I'm going to be close enough. Yeah, the trash gets all the way out there. Doesn't cover quite all the way out here. If I connected this road around, it definitely would, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. That's definitely down the line when you have to worry about that stuff. So let's see here. What other services do we have? We got fire. Definitely need a fire department. Probably close to the, I don't know, probably the city center is where I would put the first fire department. And this is a doctor's office we'd put in the in the commercial area. I consider that a commercial function. All right. Off to a good start. And we do have police stations. And there again, I'd put that probably right here in the commercial area. And people are looking pretty happy. But it definitely looks like we need a little bit more houses for, or more residential zoning for our houses and whatnot. So let's see here. You drive down this way. Kind of playing this out in my head. Driving down, everything's looking fine. Would we do more houses? Probably. I feel like I should build up. No, you know what? I'm not going to build up this way. I feel like it should just for symmetrical like evenness, but I also feel like people would not be building towards the freeway. So we'll probably build off that direction there. A land developer comes in or whatever and throws it all down. Ooh, yes, I like this actually. And he takes it right to the water's edge. That's about where it stops. And then we'll have little cul-de-sacs, I guess. That's what you'd call it. Looking pretty good so far. I'm liking where this is going. And we'll paint up some more residential. A little bit more up this way. All right, and we need water for that. They do like the water. I suppose I would probably complain too if my new house didn't have water. All right, so how are we looking? We're back in debt. Excellent. This is exactly what I wanted to see. Why are we in debt? What is taking so much of my money? Probably all the crap I just built. All right, so we got 613 going towards water, fair amount going towards fire. Loans. How much is our loan costing us a week? It's costing us $403 a week. If I didn't have that loan, I would be better off. But that's all right. Well, with those, we'll just raise taxes a little bit because that's what all good politicians do. They spend money and then they raise taxes. And we'll just, boom, just a little bit. That might be enough to dig us out of the hole. Gosh darn it, that speed got down again. I don't know how that got set like that. And we need more power. Of course we need more power. Oh, I don't have enough money for one of these. How much do these cost? $6,000. All right. Well, I happen to have $6,000 actually. I actually really like the way the windmills work in this. Windmills, I don't know. Seems like there's a modern name for them, like wind turbines or something, wind generators. But I like what I like, so I'm just gonna call them windmills. But no, I really like the way that you can just like kind of throw them down haphazardly, and they turn towards the prevailing wind. I guess I don't know. It seems realistic. Seems pretty cool. I like the way it's set up. We need to increase our demand now. All right. Now, this is something I haven't really figured out quite in the game yet, is like, I know in SimCity 4, like, exactly how all the RCI worked, and you have to build this to get this demand, and you'd have certain, like, I don't know what they call them, like, segmented things that you'd have to build. So, like, you would kind of cap out population commercial-wise and everything until you built, like, their next little monumental building, like a convention center or a stadium or whatever, and then that would increase it. We got a little fire going on here. It's a fire sale. It's alright, we got people heading there. Ain't nothing to worry about. Got a little more demand. Alright, so schooling. I can build an elementary school. How much is it going to cost me? $160 a week, and it costs 10 grand to put down. So it's half my current amount. How much do I have left on this loan? Dum, 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 dum. We could cost 52 weeks. We could pay it now. Let's go ahead and pay it now, so we just get that extra little income per month, and we'll quickly have enough money to build ourselves an elementary school. And we'll put that down here, probably like right in this area. There's one little tiny house here, and it seems like a good spot for a neighborhood school. As soon as we get enough cash for it. And we'll just zone out a little bit more housing here. Nothing too serious. And the city decided to go ahead and continue water all the way down that street. So yeah, anyways, I was talking about the RCI indicators and stuff. Not indicators so much, but like the demand. And so I know that industrial plays a big demand or a big role in it. So you've got your residential and they need jobs, and then you have your industrial and like they create the raw resources. And then once they create the raw resources, your commercial takes over and they ship it from the industrial area over to your commercial area, and then the residential people buy it. Now, what I don't know, and some testing and maybe a little work online will help figure this out hopefully, is like, do I need like specialized industry? Like what creates the demand for the industry? Is it more commercial, and more commercial is driven by more residential? And so, you know, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? And how does the specialized industry play into it? Like, do I need to have coal mining? In which case, do I need to have like demand for coal before I start, you know, the coal mining? And how does that work? So, and I know a little bit that I'm sure it's the demand for it is run by the education of your citizens. So for instance, if you have a bunch of coal industry in your area and you are, you know, you're building a bunch of schools and all your Sims or whatever you want to call them, all your people are getting super educated, do they stop working in those low grade jobs and they start looking for higher grade jobs, and then you don't have enough workers? So there's definitely some research that needs to be done when you start a new game like this. It's definitely a lot different than like SimCity 4, for instance. I mean, whenever you start a new city game, whether it's Cities XL, they all kind of have their own little quirks and things you have to figure out that way. All right, so put that in. We're getting a lot more residential demand here. So I feel like I should continue this road down. Eventually, it's going to merge in here. Now, eventually this is going to be all commercial in here, I would like. So it seems like there would be a good secondary street to come in. Maybe eventually this becomes an avenue straight off of the highway. That seems like a good plan. So what I'll probably do is we'll continue this down like... Man, roads are expensive. I don't have enough money for that. All right, what we'll do is we'll just zone up some of this real quick. Get a little bit more tax revenue incoming. Once we get some more tax revenue. See, I already have this all supplied out with water, so it's not going to really cost me anything. And that got slow again. My goodness, I don't realize that until I'm like, why don't I have any money? We're earning plenty of money a week. I just have to burn some time here and store up some funds in the old bank account. See, we don't have enough for even one of these wind turbine. We need $6,000. So we got to wait for the $6,000 because that's priority to make sure that your industrial always has power. If they don't have power, they won't do what they need to do. And I need to run a little water up this way. There we go. So yeah, I'm definitely earning quite a bit of money now a week. It's just a matter of saving up some cash. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut the video right here, and then I'll continue on when I've saved up a little money, unless something catastrophic happens like a giant meteorite hits the small hamlet. All right, and that is why you never walk out of the room while you're trying to just store up money. I made a grave mistake. So I needed that extra wind generator, and I was out of power up here, and just like one or two spots. I was like, no big deal. I won't even worry about it. I'll just save up some cash and build another one. So I walked out of the room. I come back. Turned out not only were those few spots out of power, some of this new residential that I had built also, of course, demanded more power. So the farther places out here weren't getting it, including my sewage area. And so I stopped draining sewage, and it backed up in everybody's house, and people are like, there's pretty much sewage everywhere. We're out of here. So my population went down quite drastically. And I don't know, I know there's a way you can get to like graphs and stuff, and I hate how you have to like get to city statistics. There, population change. You can see we took quite a dive here of almost, I don't know, almost 100 people or so, and that made quite a difference on my budget. And so I actually started losing money, and I walked back in and I was in the red, and I was like, what? So I had saved enough money. I was at like $8,000. I threw down another wind turbine, and I will not make that mistake again. So now that we're actually getting plenty of money weekly, I'm actually going to build a fifth one just to be safe, just because that's what I want to do. I don't want to make that mistake again. So yeah, we're gonna pretty much just flood this whole area with poo. Until then, we need lots more residential. And we've got enough money now for one of these. And then we're still not in this nice little pocket here of, you can see, whoops. You can see the darker areas. I'm sure you figured out by now. That's where like the wind is heaviest. And you can do that with all different resources. So like if you're like mining for, or you want to set up like an oil industry spot, it'll show the darker areas where you have oil. Anyways, needless to say, I think we got plenty of power now. You can actually click on this here and up here, availability. So we're producing about 37 megawatts and we're using about 30. That's actually not that much extra considering that these produce 0 to 8 megawatts depending on wind. So we'll just produce a little extra there. You can never have too much. All right, now what I was doing like an hour and a half ago. Not really, but all right, so I want to take this back a little bit. I want to create a Y, but I want it to be a nice like sweeping Y. So we'll kind of do like this, and then we'll go down like that. And then right about from the same area here, we'll do one of these. And right down like that. There we go. And then from the main street, well, actually, it'll be from a side street. We'll have like that guy. And there we go. That'll be a good little area for some commercial to be built up and everything. And we'll also bring more down. We'll bring down more residential. And that being said, we also need a nice road off of here. And how do I want to work this? I just want them all to branch off this side street. I think we're actually just going to leave it like that for now. We'll cross that road when we get to it. All right. So that's looking pretty good. We got lots more residential coming in here, which means I will need more commercial, which is what I want. Keep producing the commercial on the main drag here. We'll just kind of zone all this out for right now. Of course, the commercial also wants to be in like a high traffic area, and there's definitely not a whole lot of traffic yet on this road. So I don't know. There might be a little shy of customers for right now, but eventually we'll get there. And eventually, at a certain point, the commercial, I would think, starts, creating its own traffic. Just because, hey, I'm going shopping today, and, and then all these other businesses, all these other businesses are, like, along the same road. But yes. All right, so we need some more industrial. Throw down some roads like that. I'll just paint this all up. Now the industrial seems like an area that would be a little bit more planned out, so we'll probably try to make it a little bit more grid-like. Maybe not exactly, but the roads will follow the general same pattern. So I'll do like this, and then I'll do like one of these, and then stretch it out like that. And we also need some water in here. So once again, these people apparently want water in their homes, or not their homes, but their businesses. And another thing I'm not sure about, like I know in other games, if you throw down, if you have businesses that don't have water, or even just buildings that don't have water, they have a much higher a chance of catching fire or whatever, like that building right there. So I don't know if that works the same way in this game. Let's see here. It seems like our fire protection is starting to get a little thin, for sure. So we'll put one right here. A good area. And we'll also put one right here on the street. All right, cool. And it looked like we had some crime over here. Now, I don't know why we're getting crime in this area. Oh, that's a one-direction road. Oh. Interesting. Maybe having commercial on the inlet, on the inside. What am I trying to say? All right, so pretty much because even though the police station is like right, where is it? There. Police station right there. It's not that far away. That's a one direction road off the freeway, so they would almost have to like go over here and drive out of town, come back into town just to get over there. That's a horrible way of doing it. That is poorly designed. So I could create like a one-way loop right here just in case you wanted to turn around, which is probably not a bad idea anyways, because sometimes you leave town and you want to come back. So we'll just, there we go. And then we'll D-zone this one area right here. There we go. We'll D-zone that also. So let's see here. How does our police? There we go. That's looking much better. This music is a little overwhelming at times. There we go. Okay, and we still have a pretty high demand for residential, so need to continue our little suburbs out. Our burbs, as it were. I don't know if anybody else saw that movie. I think Tom Hanks was in that movie, The Burbs. Really good flick. I liked it. I did. Now, this is going to cut off power, so... There are some things to this game that really drive me nuts. Like, SimCity 4, you go over a power line, it would automatically just go under. And you wouldn't have to worry about that. And here, that would cut that line, and I would end up cutting power to, well, pretty much the entire city over here, I guess. So this is another road that would connect up to the to this road once it comes all the way around. In fact, let's just continue this road around right now. And that's going to cut power. So there we go. All right. Eventually those power lines will go away, so I'm not really too concerned right at this moment about where they're, you know, how they look. We can go and delete all this junk now. But I mean, really, you can't build it. I mean, we're going to all this trouble to put in all this infrastructure, and then we can't even like go underneath the power line. Seems a little redonkulous. And these roads were connected through when we put in that highway. So nothing wrong there. So I'm not really sure what to do with this area. I feel like I don't know. Like, if you look at a lot of roads, at least in like rural areas like where I live, not rural, but I live in a small town. I mean, I think we have a population of like 6,000 people in the actual town, and then the surrounding area has like 35,000 people. So, but there's a lot of like, you go down like a subdivision, there's a lot of curved roads. Very, very little is actually grid-like, and that's how kind of areas grow up. So even though like large cities like New York are kind of set up grid-like, I don't know. I feel that's not the way I want this to be. I don't know. This road is definitely too curved for my liking, though. It's too much. That'll work taking off like that, but I feel like need more of a gradual. Something like this. Oh, yeah, now you go under the thing. Why didn't you go under before? I don't know. And look at that. You can't fix that because they freaking don't have any terrain editing. Maybe I can delete it, and let's see what happens here if I delete that. Now we're out of power in that area. So I deleted that little road, then that deleted the house, and then that stopped the power going to my water pump. Alright, there. So I continued the road, and that made it a lot smoother. See, like this one, I got the same little bump. I'm not going to worry about that for right now. But it is rather annoying sometimes how their system works. There we go. All right, and now we'll just paint this all up with some nice residential, seeing how our residential demand is fairly high. And I think we'll paint it all the way out to here. All right, and we got some water. And we'll get a little water out here. No problem. Easy life. All right, cool. So yeah, we're getting plenty of money. I'm thinking the town's looking pretty good so far. Nice little sprawling hamlet. And I wonder, oh yeah, I've gotten the part where I can unlock more. So I think I want to unlock this section next so I can start working with this highway. Can I unlock 2 things? What? I can. Okay, which one? This one or this one? I kind of want to do this one because I like building out from the center, but at the same time, this has a lot more usable land. All right, I'm going to do this one. So I'll probably buy this as our next section, and that way I can start working the industry definitely in, inland a little bit, because we've got a lot of demand right now for that. In fact, that being said, I'm thinking that I should probably... Okay, so maybe what I'll do, I kind of want to wrap this episode up. I'm thinking that I need more power. I'm not going to do that mistake again. So we'll throw... There we go. All right, that should be good enough right now. While I'm explaining everything. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this as an avenue coming down, and the avenue will just hop the highway and go up into the industrial area. And then I'll just have a nice intersection somewhere meeting up with this highway. The original person put in the highway, and I don't feel like it would ever wrap around like this. I think it would probably cut through and make, it could make a sweep indent a little bit, but that's way too drastic. So we'll just indent it a little bit and then have some avenues connecting up to the main highway. But that is what we've got so far. Anyway, so yeah, I hope you guys liked the episode. Like I said, I'm not quite sure the format I want to do this in for the Let's Play, but hopefully we can make a cool city. And I appreciate you guys watching. And yeah, let me know what you think. If you have any suggestions, let me know, and give it a couple thumbs up on the video if you liked it, and feel free to subscribe and all that kind of stuff, and I will talk to you guys later.